Today, we're jumping right into one of the biggest technological shifts of our lifetime, generative AI. We're going to break down why this revolution is such a huge deal, and more importantly, what's the one essential tool you absolutely need to master to be a part of it.
All right, let's kick things off with this pretty bold claim from our source material because it really sets the stage. And we're not talking about some small incremental change here. This is, well, it's a seismic shift. So the person behind this idea, someone with decades of experience in the industry, is basically putting all their chips on this one bet. And that bet is that generative AI isn't just another tech fad. It's going to completely turn every single industry on its head.
And when we say every industry, we really mean it. From doctors using AI to get a second opinion on X-rays, to architects actually co-designing buildings with an AI partner, no field is going to be left untouched. But here's the key. The human is still in the driver's seat. You're the one making the final call.
But look, this isn't some scary story about robots taking over all the jobs. It's really about augmentation. It's about making us humans way more effective, way more productive. It's like having the most powerful co-pilot imaginable, right there with you.
And get this isn't just theory. Here's a real-world example from a developer. A task that would have normally taken 2 full weeks of work, they got it done in just 2 hours using an AI tool. I mean, that's not just a little boost in productivity. That's a total game changer.
And this quote just nails the whole concept perfectly. The word processor didn't replace the writer, right? It just made them better. It's the same idea here. AI is the tool that amplifies us. It takes care of all the tedious, nitty-gritty stuff so we can focus on the big picture, the creative ideas, and the final crucial decisions.
So, if AI is this whole new frontier, what language do we even use to explore it? And you know what? The answer is actually pretty simple. The whole community, the AI folks, the data scientists, they've pretty much already decided for us. They've standardized on one language to build this future.
So choosing Python isn't just a random pick. It's a super practical, strategic move. It's the language that powers these critical AI libraries like LangChain. Let me put it this way. If you want to be a builder in this new world, you've got to speak the language. And that language is Python.
Okay, so let's get our hands dirty a little bit. If you're going to work with data in Python, which is really the foundation of all this AI stuff, you have to, absolutely have to, understand one of its most important building blocks, and that's called a dictionary. Okay, so what is a dictionary? Well, at its core, it's a super simple but really powerful idea. You have a key that points to a value. It's just like how a word in a real dictionary points to its definition. Simple as that. It's all about organizing and finding your data easily.
So let's see what this actually looks like. Now, if this data was just in a plain old list, you'd have to remember, okay, position 0 is the name, position 1 is the father's name, and that gets confusing, right? With a dictionary, forget all that. You just ask for the key education, and you get the value. It's so much more intuitive and way harder to mess up.
Now, there is one super important rule you have to remember about keys. The key has to be something that can't be changed, what programmers call immutable. So things like a piece of text or a number are perfect. But things that can be changed later, like a list, you can't use those as keys. And this rule is there for a good reason. It keeps your data safe and consistent.
Okay, so why are we spending all this time on dictionaries? Why does this one thing matter so much? Because they're basically the universal translator for data. It's the thing that connects your code to the rest of the world, especially the internet. And this just shows you how incredibly versatile they are. Look at this journey. You start with a dictionary in your Python code, right? Then, just like that, you can turn it into something called JSON, which is basically the language of the internet. And from there, you can load it into what's called a data frame, which is the workhorse for all modern data science. It's the same data, just wearing different hats for different jobs.
Okay, so we've covered the why, the what, and the how. But there's one last thing. And honestly, it might be the most important piece of this whole puzzle. And it's all about commitment.
Our source material uses this really powerful historical metaphor to make a point. The idea is, to really master this stuff, you can't be halfway in. You have to go all in. Burn the ships, so to speak, because there's no going back to the old way of doing things.
And the big takeaway here is that this isn't just some weekend hobby you can pick up. This is a call to really dedicate yourself for the next, say, 2 to 3 years, to dive deep, to practice, and to understand that you might not see a big payoff right away. It's a serious investment in yourself and your future.
And so, that really brings us to the bottom line. This AI revolution, it's not some far-off thing on the horizon.
It's happening right now. The tools are here. The path forward is pretty clear. So the only real question left is the one you see right here. Are you on board?